and it's there for a reason. When you read these two documents and you put them together, it's going to rip the top off of every cop shop in America. Every county, every city, every state patrol office in America is about to get reamed. All codes, statutes, and regulations are unconstitutional when it applies to the living people. Let that sink in for a minute. All the RCWs, ODOT, whatever you want to call from your regular state-of-state government are unconstitutional when it applies to the living people. However, you may not be recognized as one of the living people. And that's how they're getting away with everything legally, even though it's not lawful. Our vocabulary is half the problem of our lives. Words like defendant, respondent, pay rent, when you get hauled into family court, when you get a ticket on the side of the road and they start quoting some kind of code or regulation, are you actually in a for-hire, for-profit category for that so-called regulation to actually apply to you? Unless you're engaged as an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, taxi cab, a boxcar delivery operator, or in control of 60 feet of semi-truck, and utilizing the road for profit, probably not. The fact that we have been entrapped and coerced into making admissions to something that we really aren't doing, that's where the problem is. So the Big Hats article, there is a disclosure in there about some Code of Federal Regulations. 49 CFR 390.300 plus 399 is a whole host of regulation definitions. I stumbled into it about 6 months ago, and I had an opportunity 2 weeks ago to share it on a nationwide coordinator call. Pair the Constitution document, which is 9 pages long, front and back. And you have the case law that proves who, what, where, and if you're required to actually have a driver's license. And if you're not in that particular category, why did you register your car, making an admission that you are for hire on the road? This one item is going to change revenue regulation in every state. I would highly recommend you folks print out 6 or 7 copies and go drop them off at your friendly neighborhood cop shop. Give it to your county sheriff and put your county commissioners on notice. You want to make everybody straighten up and fly right? There are your two main tools. Now, because you have been miscategorized behind your back, until you put certain documents in place and they're well established, do not run out and do anything rashly. That's why the two disclaimer, front and back, is in place. You need to wrap your head around that you are on paper not one of the people. And why is that? Is you have been entrapped. Into making a false admission to something that you may or may not be doing. And truthfully, by way of non-disclosure, fraud vitiates or cancels everything. But you have to know that you were defrauded in the first place. So if any of you happen to have friends or family who are in law enforcement, do them a favor. Print off a copy and please give it to them. And let them know you care about them tremendously and don't want to see them get hurt. Because in the next year, there's going to be a major restructuring and comprehension to every sheriff, every police force in every city, and every state patrol department around. Just be polite when you hand them. This is just for your understanding and awareness. They don't know what they don't know because the state hasn't properly trained anybody. And you can thank that by way of the attorneys. So make an extra copy for your county prosecutor. Let them know you care. When you hand it to them, smile. Anybody have any questions?
One question: if let's say they violate these rules, who do we take that to, or what do we do with that?
Well, first of all, you need to have corrected your status and standing back to the American people.
Right.
If you haven't done that, the Constitution doesn't apply to you. Because on their books, you're nothing but a mere person. In 1858, Congress changed a bunch of definitions behind our back. And a person is a dead, fictitious entity. and they've concealed our relationships to conform to their whimsical theater of court. And the reason I say it's a theater because in England, the bar is an ancient theatrical group. So every time you go into their make-believe court, you're involved in a theater production. So up in the Constitution room is a one-page document and the witness testimonies. You need to have those in place along with a copy of your scanned birth certificate so that you can reclaim your God-given birthright as one of the American people from the state to which you were born, even if you're not living there anymore. Anybody have any questions? Anybody? Okay. As you go through that Constitution document, case law document, Apache Open Office will open that document very nicely. If you know of any group, whether it's the Birchers, the Sons or the Daughters of the American Revolution, or any local community group, reach out to people. Share it, please. Again, anybody have any call or questions? Well, I just thought I'd come in here and have a brief chat in preparation for Friday night. Drag anybody in on Friday night, and I think we're going to have an exciting time. Be safe, everyone.
Are you going to drop the document in here?
It's in the Constitution room. Both of them are.
You know what? I bet you put it in at the team room because I'm not seeing them.
I see them in the Constitution room between 338 and 340.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I need
Yep.
to just scroll up. I'm going to pin those to the top for everybody also.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you much.
You're more than welcome.
Animal, vegetable, an animal, vegetable, mineral, or a human? Or are we real people? Or are we the zombies?
Well, here's the thing. The definition behind human, it looks like man, but has no inheritable qualities of God and is a monster. And you can look that up in one of the major dictionaries, like Bouvier's or Black's. To have human rights is denigrated below the status of man or woman. Less than.
Well, how are you going to get the word out? Are you going to go from place to place and spread the word, or how? You want us to just stop a cop and tell him?
If you make a few copies and hit some of your bookstores, if you happen to see an officer at a restaurant or something like that, hey guys, I got something to share with you. Here you go.
You just have those extra copies ready.
Yep. So I'm about to print off a combination packet of 1,500 of these just for the county I live in. That's how serious I am.
Does anybody have any ideas of how you would get the word out that y'all want to share, or we can all go out there and help spread the word?
Well, if any of you know people who are concerned about what they see in the country, start with them. Print off a couple of copies and say, hey, I came across something you ought to know about.
Do you think any of them know what an American national is or American state citizen?
Well, what they're going to find out in the county buildings, the counties are corporate entities and they work for a foreign corporation that is a subsidiary of a foreign corporation. And as such, Mr. Treasurer, Mr. Commissioner, do you realize that you are not covered under the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights because of the nature of your job? Oh, and do you realize that under the Clearfield Doctrine, no corporation called United States can give another corporation called the state of whatever, who cannot give another corporation called the county of organization immunity, nor its officers. So yes, Mr. Officer, you have been left naked, twisting in the wind, carrying full, complete commercial liability for any of your actions and overreach. And you might want to talk to your risk management group about this. See how they react. If any of you don't know, on the 23rd, I believe it was, yeah, the 23rd, BlackRock filed for bankruptcy. So any organization under their wing you could end up with a nationwide economic fire sale. So get prepared. East Coast, the longshoremen strike. Anticipate your supply chain going down for 2 to 3 weeks. I just learned today of a major port of San Diego shakeup today. There's an old saying, may you live in interesting times. Well, you're there, right smack dab in the middle of it. Best wishes to all of you. I will hopefully hear and see some of you on Friday. Have a good one. Be safe.
Thanks. We appreciate the call.
Bye-bye.
Thank you a bunch. Bye-bye, Jim. Good night, everybody. We'll go out in March and come back, and you can drop your questions in here anytime. So thank you, everybody.